Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Hopefully this is going to be a treat. Not sure, a lot of these Tioga, Sequoia beers are kind of hit and miss. Some of them are pretty tasty and some of them not so much. But this is an Imperial IPA, so I'm hoping this is going to be pretty tasty. It's got this cover on the cap here, basically like what you would get on a wine bottle. Teak shrunk down on the cap there, which is a little bit better than the wax that a lot of breweries use and dip it down in there. This asks for a little bit of priciness in there, and people say, well, that keeps the air from getting in. I kind of disagree with that. The beer is under carbonation. The beer is trying to get out of the bottle. Air is not getting in the bottle. As long as it's capped correctly, I don't see a need for the wax or the wine bottle bowl on top of these beers. It's my opinion, though, but it's under pressure. It's trying to, stuff's inside the bottle trying to get out, will not get in. So that's just my opinion. That's the way I feel about it, guys. There's been millions of beers with just a regular cap on them that there's no problem with. They don't need wax or bowl or any of that kind of stuff to keep the air from getting in the bottle. Like I said, but it's under pressure. It's under carbonation. It's trying to get out of the bottle. So, as long as there's no problem with the capping process, the beer should stay for 20 years without any air getting in. So, that's my opinion, my 2 cents there, guys. Before we go on, actually, there's not a lot of ratings on Beer Advocate or Rate Beer on this beer. Matter of fact, Rate Beer doesn't even have a score for it. There's 2 reviews on it, and there's no ratings because it says it encourages more people. But Beer Advocate says it's got a rating, and there's still only 2 people that reviewed it there. So I don't understand the process there of how many people have to review it before they get a rating on it. I was very surprised that they did have a rating on it with only 2 people reviewing it. So let's find out what this one brings. Like I said, this is a big beer at 10.8%. I do not have the IBUs, and it's not listed on the bottle. They do not date their stuff at Tioga, Sequoia. Got a big problem with that. That's when you're producing IPAs. Kind of want to know how long it's been in the bottle, especially if you're buying singles. And usually, when you buy a bomber, you're buying singles. You're not buying a case of 22-ounce bombers. So if they're dating the case on this, I think that's a bunch of horse fighting. So no date. So if we're going to leave it, we'll find out how tasty it is. It tastes like a malt bomb to me. This was sent to me by Chris. So Chris, thanks a bunch for sending all those Tioga Sequoia beers. No reflection on you, whether they're good or bad. You have no control over that. I just appreciate being able to try them and review them, guys. Can't get them here in Virginia. They're out of Washington, guys, I think. Let me look here. No, it says here they're out of Fresno, California. So it's a California beer. So, guys, as far as I'm concerned, there are so many tasty beers in California that are dated. If you're not dating your beers and you're in California, you're sucking the hind titties, as far as I'm concerned. So, with that being said, let's get on with this one. I have no commercial description here for this beer, so we'll go straight over to the food pairings. And since it's a double IPA, cuisine is barbecue. The cheeses are your more pungent cheeses, going with all Limburger. The peppery cheeses, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue cheddar. And the meat for this is game, grilled meat, and salmon. So as far as sniffer tool for size wine glass, I'm going to use the Sovereign beer glass, which is my favorite. And it says here it can be sour for a long period since it's a 10%er. But just remember, if you cellar this beer, the hops are going to fade. And it's going to eventually turn into a malt bomb. So drink your IPAs and double IPAs as fresh as you can get them. That's what I try to do. So without further ado, let's see if we can get this little cap protector off so we can get into the beer. Nice little hit. Nice smokiness coming out of it. A lot of smokiness coming out of it. Very nice. And the beer is filled all the way up to here, so we've got a full bomber of this, 22 ounces. And being 10%, let's see if it produces a head. Let's pour kind of aggressive here. Alright. Good looking beer in the glass. About a finger and a quarter of head, not quite 2 fingers. over to the light. I can see the light right good. Very clear beer. Nice amber, golden amber. It's a little on the darker side amber. It's not a light golden color. A nice typical color for a double IPA. Some of them tend to be a little darker than this with the malt hue, but this one looks pretty good. A nice orangey amber color. So let's get a nose on it, see what we can smell. I'm getting oranges, a hint of some grapefruit in there. I mean, it's kind of floral and citrusy. Nice aroma, but I am getting a kind of a big maltiness to it. So, like I said, we have no idea how old the beer is, how long it's been in the bottle. So, we'll see what it brings to the table. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Chris. Thank you, sir. Very nice, fairly decent. There is a strong maltiness to it, so it's telling me that it's been in the bottle for a little while anyway. But it's nice and pleasant. Like I said, I'm getting pineapple, a little bit of grapefruit, a little earthiness, strong maltiness to it. I just don't see how we, as beer consumers, can buy with confidence a beer that has no date on it in this style. I just don't see how we can. I mean, has the beer been on the shelf a week, a month, a year? How are we supposed to know that? I don't understand. Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Nice citrusiness there. It's not bad. It really is a decent beer. I don't think it's quite to the A category, but it may have been if it was fresh. And not knowing that, I'm just going to have to make a judgmental call on the beer. If it had a date on it, and it was a week or two or a month old, well, they're intending it to taste like that because it's a fresh bottle, and that's where they're going. But if it's 6 months old, the hops have faded, and that's not where they're going. And being a 10% beer, this beer is going to keep for a long time, 5 or 10 years. But after it's set in a bottle for a year or longer, those hops will have faded to the point where it's super quality. So let me pour her a glass and sip on this for a little bit. We'll come back and we'll do the final grade and chug on this one. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm just a little left. We got a decent beer, definitely above average beer. To me, guys, this is a 7 beer in a 6 bottle because there is no dating on it. We have no idea how old the beer is. And for a double IPA, we need to have that information, and they choose not to give it to us. So if it had a date on it, we would know how old the beer is and where they were trying to go with this beer and what flavors they were intending it to have. But with no date, we're clueless. We're clueless on how old the beer is. So let's do the final chug on this one. I know a lot of you people have expressed comments about you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about the dating of beers, but I'm going to continue to do that. Until everybody dates their beers, I got a problem with that. And I actually went to Foothills for the Sexual Chocolate VIP event last Friday night and talked to Mr. Bartholomew, the head brewer there at, or the owner, head brewer and owner of Foothills, and he told me all their beers are dated. They have a stamped on date, and sometimes that gets wiped off. And I understand that, but when you choose not to date the beers, it leaves all of us that buy the beers clueless. So unless you're actually buying it at the brewery, which I cannot, since this brewery is in California and I'm in Virginia. So it is what it is. if you're sick of hearing me talk about the dating of the beers, maybe you need to watch somebody else. So that's just the bottom line, guys. So until all these guys decide that it's important enough that they need to date each individual bottle and not the 6-pack, the 4-pack, or the case, or nothing at all, you're going to hear me talk about it. So, I mean, if I lose subscribers over it, so be it. But until I get all the beers that come through that front door right there that have a date on each individual bottle, you're going to hear me talk about it. So, I'm sorry about that. If it offends you, find somebody else to watch. That's all I can tell you. Because I'm going to keep talking about it until I see every bottle come through that door with a date on it. And this one does not. 7 beer, B+ beer in a B bottle. Nice citrusiness to it. Heavy maltiness to it, though. And a lot of brewers don't want to be that super hop forward beer. They want something the transitional drinker from an IPA to an Imperial or a double IPA can find tasty too. So if they're not looking for that West Coast style, off the chain, enjoyed by style of beer, that's your prerogative. But without the date, we have no idea because that's what that beer turns into after it's in the bottle for a while, kind of malty. So 7 beer in a 6 bottle. That's where I'm going to leave it. Gets the B for me. Like I told you earlier, Gregsbeer has no date, no score for this. There's only 2 people that reviewed it, so they choose not to give a score on those 2 reviews. But there's 2 reviews on Beer Advocate, and they do give me a rating, which is 86. If I was putting a number on it, it would be pretty damn close to that, probably an 85. Had a date on it, I may even go up to an 88 or an 89, knowing how fresh the beer is. So that's where we're going to leave this one. So Chris, thanks so much, brother, for sending it to me. Kind of wish those guys would step up to the plate and put a date on their bottles so we'll know how fresh or how old the beer is, whichever the case may be. And as beer consumers and buyers, I think that's information that we're entitled to have. It shouldn't be a privilege to get that information. It should be required. I mean, there's thousands of silly-ass laws on the books, and I hate to see them have to pass a law to get these fools to put a date on the product, but it may have to end up coming to that. As much as I hate to say that, it may have to come to that before these clowns that brew these beers and ship them out without any dates on them, because they know it's going to extend the shelf life. I mean, people are going to still buy the beer because it doesn't have a date on it. Now, if it has an expired date on it, you're not going to buy that beer. If it says enjoy by this date, or it was put in the bottle on this date, and it's 6 months, 8 months, a year after it's put in the bottle, they know you're not going to buy that beer. I know I'm not going to buy that beer. So it extends their shelf life, and that's the reason they do it. And they choose not to do it. I know that machine is a little on the pricey side, and as I've told you a bunch of times, guys, that piece of equipment is just as important as the damn brew kettle as far as I'm concerned. And I get aggravated when I see these bottles, whether I buy them or whether other people buy them and send them to me to review, that they've chosen not to put a date on their stuff. So, it's a bunch of horse hockey. Got to keep it a little cleaner. It's a bunch of horse hockey. We want to drink horse piss, but that's horse hockey. So, we're going to leave it at that, guys. 7 beer in a 6 bottle. 86 from them, 85 from me. So, until these clowns learn that date is important, they're going to get the wrath of Greg. That's just the way I feel about it. I'm not pulling any punches. If the beer is good, I'm going to tell you it's good, whether I buy it or somebody sends it to me. And if it has a date, I'm going to tell you what the date is and how fresh it is. If it has no date, I'm going to call some bitches out on it. So if you're producing beer and you're not dating your shit, and I review it, you're going to hear about it. So with that being said, if you have this one, I think it's a definitely above average beer, but we have no idea how old it is and where they were going with this beer, whether they wanted to be a transitional double IPA or whether it was very super fresh and citrusy and very West Coast style, and it's faded over time because we don't know how old it is. So if you've had this one, let me know. This is a Tecumseh Imperial IPA from Tioga, Sequoia Brewing out of California. Guys, y'all need to step up to the plate. There's so many great beers in California that have dates on them. It's like Colorado. Colorado has a ton of breweries out there, and about half of them date your stuff. So if you're not dating your beers, you suck. You suck. If you're not dating each individual bottle, you suck. As consumers, we deserve that information. And until you realize that, you're sucking the hind titties as far as I'm concerned, guys. So how I feel about it. Just my opinion. So, with that being said, if you've had it, let me know. Let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then. Hey guys, it's about beer 30. Let's go see. Men's Style Lab was created for one purpose, to help elevate the style of everyday guys. We're a concierge clothing company that matches you and your